time, it is my great privilege to introduce the participants in this match. Introducing first in the corner to my left, weighing 235 pounds, from Maidstone, England, the human torture device, Doug Williams. And his opponent in the corner to my right, weighing in at 199 pounds, from Southeast Detroit, Shelley!
You'll be hard-pressed to find two better pure wrestlers here in Ring of Honor than in Doug Williams and Alex Shelley. As much as Alex Shelley has pissed me off today, I already said I'm explaining to you I'm going to try to call this objectively and call it down the middle for those at home.
Well, we are about to see a new pure champion crowned right here. Doug Williams, he's come so close to ROH titles before. Can he finally do it? Generation Next, they've been rapidly ascending to the top of the ROH roster, and in order to really do that, they need to capture some title belts. Can Alex Shelley accomplish that right here? Alex Shelley has a wounded arm going into this one. That's going to be a huge disadvantage against somebody like Doug Williams. And of course, CM Punk, we have to go over the pure title rules. There is a 20 count on the floor. Of course, normally there is no count out on the floor in Ring of Honor matches. There is no punching to the face. Your first punch will be issued a warning. Another close fist strike to the face, and you will lose a rope break. If you lost all your rope breaks, you will be disqualified. And finally, the 3 rope break rule. Each man will only get to use the ropes 3 times to break a submission or pinfall attempt. Now you have to be in a defensive submission or pinfall situation where you can lose the match, and if you go to ropes in that situation, you will lose a rope break. After all 3 of your rope breaks are gone, well, the ropes are legal and in play, which means your opponent can tie you up in them, which means you can't use the ropes to save yourself. So that opens up a number of interesting possibilities. Also, a lot of strategy in this CM Punk, because in a regular match, if you're just in a simple armbar or something, you might take the easy way out and grab the ropes and not have to exert a lot of energy. But in this one, you have to be careful about when you use your rope breaks and in what circumstances.
And that's exactly why Alex Shelley is at a tremendous disadvantage in this match.
Well, Alex Shelley was in the first ever match to feature the 3 rope break rule back at Battle Lines Are Drawn in a preview of what this pure wrestling division was all about. And he lost that match against Matt Striker when he used up all his rope breaks. Striker had him in the striker lock. He went to the ropes one more time. It didn't do any good to break up the whole hold. He tried to climb out of the ring, no good. Stuck in the ropes, nowhere to go. He was forced to tap.
Let's see if anybody's forced to tap using the ropes in this one. Like I said, Alex Shelley's at a tremendous disadvantage. He's already got the bum wing. He's given up a lot of weight and a lot of size, height-wise. And that's a perfect example right there.
Doug Williams, he's come so close to ROH titles. He became a main eventer in one night at Road to the Title back on June 22nd, 2002, a show that many people consider the best ROH show ever as far as great quality matches go. One show later, crowning a champion, he went 60 minutes for that ROH title but came up short. Then
wait, Bauer, check this out.
Wow, he has completely tied Shelley up.
Look at his arms there. He can't get his arms out tied from underneath his legs.
That's got to be painful and embarrassing.
It's a lot more embarrassing than it is painful. Look at him scooting himself. Interesting. If he gets to the ropes, is that a rope break? How he rolls himself out. Alex Shelley doesn't even know what the hell just happened to him.
Todd Sinclair has been decided upon to be the pure champion official.
Todd Sinclair?
It's a referee. Right now, Williams and Shelley both cautious. This is a first time ever matchup between
Shelley has to use a lot of his leverage. It's a good thing about wrestling is you can be bigger and you can be more powerful than your opponent, but leverage is always the same. Physics never change. If you can grab a wrist and torque on it the right way, you can get your guy to tap out.
I said before, Shelley knows 1,001 holds and counter holds, more like 1,000,001. You want to talk about leverage, Alex Shelley knows every way to use it, including some innovative and unique ones that Doug Williams might have never seen before. So that could be a huge advantage for Alex Shelley, who's actually entering this match with a disadvantage with that injured arm. And it's interesting to note, none of the Generation Next members are at ringside. Generation Next, Alex Shelley, at the beginning of the show, said this would be a night that would go down in infamy, and you have to figure they have a plan, and it has to do with this pure title. So that's also something to keep in the back of your mind. It's something that Doug Williams has to pay attention to as this match goes on. Here's Shelley tying up the legs, nicely done. Good strategy by Alex Shelley too. A similar strategy to what you employed at the second anniversary show, CM Punk, when you took out the legs of Doug Williams. When he hit the Chaos Theory on you, he wasn't able to hold that bridge, and as a result, he was pinned.
That's right, I got my one shoulder up off the mat. You know, I learned that little trick from Harley Race.
Well, if Alex Shelley's able to injure the legs of Doug Williams, he might find himself in a similar position, and if you're able to take away the Chaos Theory, you're taking away Doug Williams' #1 weapon.
That's exactly how Harley Race won his 7th NWA World Heavyweight title, and it's exactly how I thought I would win my first pure title here in Ring of Honor, but the referee was a complete douchebag.
You better get your mind off that and start thinking about Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, because you are going to be face-to-face with the Dragon next.
Dragon don't spit hot fire like he used to, Power.
The Dragon's coming for a fight.
Better drink his Metamucil.
You notice Shelley being very protective of that arm.
He's not regular. He might not make it to the ring.
All right, that's enough of that.
Doug Williams traps his arms. No, Alex Shelley reverses it on him. Now that was very nicely done, very clever.
Shelley gets a 2 count out of it. And now Shelley talking some trash to Doug Williams.
Shelley should be raining strikes on the exposed head. He can't cover up.
Don't forget too, Doug Williams was the first title defense of Samoa Joe back at Round Robin Challenge 2. Doug Williams coming close to defeating Samoa Joe that night.
He's got his title experience, which Alex Shelley does not have.
You've seen the video clips throughout the night of Generation Next running wild, doing whatever it takes to rise to the top to ROH, and they need this belt if they truly want to be among the elite.
It's definitely in their game plan. I mean, obviously you had Austin Aries in the same match as Alex Shelley in my 4-way match, and they worked as a team. You know, me and Matt Stryker, not so much. So they obviously had this plan set out that Alex Shelley was going to be the one to wind up making it to the finals if anybody did. And well, I got to admit the plan worked very well. I see a lot of potential in all 4 members of Generation Next.
That's big words coming from you, CM Punk. Rare praise out of the mouth of CM Punk for somebody besides a Second City Saint member.
Now, Alex Shelley still has an incredibly stupid haircut. But watch Doug Williams here. He simply just backs under the man's legs, pulls his arms from underneath him, and I utilized this earlier.
And that definitely pulls at the ligaments in both the elbows and the shoulders of Alex Shelley. Oh, he's got him trapped. Oh, that was almost it. It only takes 3 seconds.
Very nice pin attempt. He had his feet pinning his hands down too, so Alex Shelley couldn't shove him off.
But Generation Next has proven they will attack whoever they feel that they can make a name at their expense of. Maybe Doug Williams is next on the list.
Both men still in an advantage. This match started with both men on their feet, and both men are still pretty much equal. Both men still on their feet. Alex Shelley rolling on the mat, rolling over Doug Williams, looking to lock an arm hold in.
But we are seeing that feeling out process between first-time opponents that you usually see, where they're both trying to set a strategy, both trying to devise some strength and weaknesses. You can watch all the tape. Wow, there's a unique move right there by Shelley trying to wrap up the legs. I mean, you can watch all the tape in the world, but until you're actually in the ring with somebody, that's when you can really pinpoint a sore spot or a strength or a weakness. And at the same time, Shelley has to be trying to protect that arm while mounting some offense on Doug Williams, perhaps maybe maybe you might see him work on the neck later, as he likes to do.
Look
set
at
up
Doug
for the
Williams.
corners to be stretched.
Look at Doug Williams. He's so British. And he really thinks that makes him better than everybody, but all it really does is make him British.
Doug Williams is a very humble individual, a class act. Not like you going around thinking he's better than everybody.
That's because he's not. He's British. Nobody likes the British.
Doug Williams now going after that injured arm of Alex Shelley.
And here we go. This is the first decisive moment in this match thus far. Now, I'm not exactly counting Alex Shelley out, but the previous damage done to his arm is going to weigh against him tremendously, especially now that Doug has targeted it.
This might also force Shelley to use some rope breaks in there, and yes, he does. Alex Shelley having to use that rope break, as he cannot afford to be in that hold for any longer. That might be the kind of situation where if Alex Shelley's arm was not injured going into this match, he might try to find another way out of the hold. But with that injured arm, he had to go to the ropes, and now he's going for a breather on the floor, perhaps to try to devise some new strategy.
He's got to find a weakness on Doug. And it's going to be tough to do because Doug, like I said, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but Doug is bigger, he's thicker, he's stronger, he's taller. And so far, it doesn't appear that he has a hurt leg or an arm or anything.
Todd Sinclair pointing out to Alex Shelley, that's your first rope break.
How far along is Todd Sinclair? Is he the first pregnant man in the history of the world? You can make a lot of money with that.
And there you see Williams going right after the arm. He knows the weak point. He knows what it's going to take to win. And he has Shelley's head trapped between his legs, now releasing it. Shelley might have to use another rope break in a hurry right here.
It's nothing fancy. It's a simple hammerlock, and this could win the match.
Doug Williams would love nothing more than to bring that belt back to the UK.
Very nice hold here. Keeps the arm trapped with his ankles and torques on the neck. Now Shelley could wind up lulling himself into a false sense of security. He could overprotect his arm.
Oh, that enziguri, a desperation enziguri, and it scores. Shelley now trying to shake out that arm. And he goes for a kick to the ribs. That'll take the breath right out of your body.
That's what Doug Williams is trying to do. He's got to stay on that arm and try to get Shelley to overprotect it so he can maybe score a flash pin or maybe begin to work on his neck so Shelley has more than one thing to worry about.
Shelley with the Hangman's neck breaker.
And it looks like Shelley's targeting Doug's neck at the moment.
He usually does target the neck. There's a fist drop. And look at Todd Sinclair. That is illegal, and he is reprimanding Shelley. Shelley looking shocked, realizing that he made a mistake.
Doug got a little hot about that fist drop there. Doug's a true competitor. He's looking for a clean match. He wants to see who the better man is.
Well, that choke right there has nothing to do with pure wrestling. Now, if a guy is choking you out in the ropes, that does not count as a rope break because that's an illegal hold. But of course, if you do use all those rope breaks, a choke might be legal in those ropes. And now what's Shelley going to do? Slingshots in with a leg drop.
He's keeping that arm close to his body, though.
Well,
He might even be doing that subconsciously. That's something that naturally happens. You want to protect that arm at all costs.
Shelley does have a good strategy here, as he seems to be targeting a body point on Doug Williams. He needs, oh, look at that, a foot right to the back of the neck, drives Williams down face first. That'll knock you out and hurt the neck. And then he steps on him for insult for energy, insult to injury, and look at that, mocks the British culture too. And look at that, symbolizing kicking dirt on Doug Williams. And Williams
Too hard to
back.
mock the British culture. They don't even have a culture. They had the Beatles, and that was it. And they half sucked too. Seriously, what else do they got?
They have plenty over there. I'm not
What?
I'm not going to dignify that with a
Like
response.
what? Yeah,
We have a
because you
class-
can't. They got the VW bug and bad teeth.
Well, right now what we have is a pure title match. History is going to be made right here with a new pure champion.
We know Doug's British. What's Alex Shelley? Is he an albino Smurf? Ooh.
Doug Williams firing back.
What's Doug going for here? Doug goes for his bomb scare and it gets past. Nice catch of the arm.
And Shelley He's hit, and he goes to the ropes.
That's 2 rope breaks down for Alex Shelley.
Alex Shelley, no choice but to go to the ropes in this one. That arm is in bad shape. Shelley needs to get aggressive about going after the neck of Doug Williams.
He's already been reprimanded once about a closed fist. You got to figure if he throws another one, that might lose his 3rd last rope break.
That will, and he does go back to the neck of Doug Williams.
He just throws Williams' neck down onto his knee, bubbles up with an elbow, and another elbow, and that hurt arm.
Yep, he paid the price for that one. That one hurt both men. Alex Shelley cannot afford to spend any time resting. He has to get very aggressive with Doug Williams while he has him down. The human torture device is capable of defeating anyone at any time. When you have someone like Doug Williams down, you take advantage of it.
That's exactly what I did back in February, 2nd anniversary show. I saw an opening and I went for it. I weakened Doug's leg knee so bad that when he went for his own finishing hold, he couldn't hold the bridge.
Well, you are a master of strategy, CM Punk.
I'm a genius, Bauer. I'm a genius.
Just like you did with Samoa Joe in that world title match. And now here's Alex Shelley getting aggressive with those knees on the back of the head of Doug Williams.
That's a lot of knees.
And they're all right impact on the back of the head and the neck of Doug Williams. Alex Shelley trying to soften him up for the Border City stretch.
Crowd appreciates the tenacity.
And this is what the Pure title is all about. Competition at its purest. And that's what we're witnessing here right outside of New York City as ROH completes being reborn.
Doug Williams looks half unconscious at the moment. You get hit in the back of the head enough, you will go numb.
Williams is definitely down and he is definitely in trouble. Shelley might want to think of maybe applying some submissions right now, and even if he doesn't get a tap, he could force Doug Williams to use some rope breaks.
I love the science of wrestling. You got to wonder, can he apply anything? Can he really torque on his neck the way his arm is? Crossbody attempt blocked by Doug Williams. Doug's got him in a power slam position, drops him directly on his shoulder, further hurting the arm. He goes for the bomb scare, and he scores big with it.
Right on the arm of Shelley.
Oh!
Twist that arm around. A hammerlock with a bridge. Shelley might tap here. This could be it. We could have a new Pure champion.
He's got one rope break. What did he do? He raked his eyes?
It was a desperation move by Shelley to get out of the hold.
Well, he got out of it somehow. It doesn't matter how you get out of it as long as you do.
But Williams right back, and look at Williams almost taking Shelley close to the rope.
That's exactly what he did.
So much new strategy here.
There's the 3rd rope break. Alex Shelley is out.
The ropes are in play now for Doug Williams. A huge advantage for Doug Williams from this point forward, as Doug Williams has not used one single rope break, and he can use the ropes against Alex Shelley. Shelley cannot go to the ropes to save himself here. He cannot go to the ropes, and he does reverse it. Lands Doug Williams with a DDT. So much new strategy under these Pure title rules. This is a thinking man's match.
Doug Williams is sitting pretty right now. He's got all 3 rope breaks and an extremely hurt opponent. And like I said earlier, Border City stretch. Can Alex Shelley hook it on? No, these knees to the head.
That's just going to try to woozy. Yes, he gets Alex Shelley off his feet. If he gets Shelley woozy and then goes for the arm. Hold on. Oh, that was almost it. It only takes 3 seconds.
That was close.
The Pure title's on the line. Who is going to make history here tonight?
Why can't I ever have a referee in a Pure match as good as this guy?
And look at the face of those fans. They're all glued on the ring. And look at that. Lifts him off his feet.
It's almost a version of Jim Breaks' old finisher back in England. The Jim Breaks special. Another high knee by Doug Williams. Doug Williams off the far side. And he meets a super kick right in the mush.
Shelley saved himself, but Williams catches him again.
Fujiwara armbar in the center of the ring. Alex Shelley rolls.
You have to come up with
Border City stretch. He's going for it. He's got it.
Yes, he has the Border City stretch. This has made many people tap. Will it make Doug Williams with the injured neck tap? This puts all the pressure on the neck. But look at Doug Williams. He has his body turned so that Shelley's not getting it exactly the way he normally does. This decreases the torque on the neck.
I suspect that's actually Shelley's fault. Shelley couldn't get all that torque he needed to with his left arm, as badly damaged as it is.
This crowd wants to see Doug Williams get his first ROH title.
Doug Williams sent to the far far corner. Double knees by Alex Shelley in the corner. Doug Williams prone in the center of the ring. Oh, double stop to the back of Doug's head. He needs to lock on that stretch right now.
And he nails it.
His neck is screwed.
Oh, I thought that was it. I thought Generation Next was getting the title.
Right about now, his neck is so badly damaged, Bauer. I don't really realize. I don't think his rope breaks mean anything at the moment.
Well, Shelley could go for the Boris, and he stretched 3 times, and Williams can use the ropes each time to break it.
Shelley's arm too damaged to send an Irish whip into Doug Williams. Doug Williams.
Oh, Williams catches him with that knee. And what's Williams doing here?
He's locking his arm in that hammerlock using the top rope.
And this is legal. Shelley's rope break on. And Shelley taps. Shelley taps.
He gets the immediate tap out. No more rope breaks means you don't go home with the strap. Crowd in New Jersey is on their feet.
Doug Williams makes history and will bring the Pure title back to England. Alex Shelley, no choice but to tap. Can Doug Williams build the prestige of the Pure title? We'll find out in the upcoming months.
Submission. Once he uses those 3 rope breaks, the ropes are in play. Introducing first the challenger, representing Generation Next, hailing from Southwest Detroit, at a weight of 199 pounds. This is Alex Shelley. And his opponent, he is the Ring of Honor Pure Champion, hailing from Maidstone, Kent, England, at a weight of 235 pounds. This is the coaching device, Doug Williams.
It is now time for the first Pure title defense by Doug Williams. This is a rematch of last week in Elizabeth, New Jersey at Reborn Completion when Doug Williams became the new Pure champion by defeating Alex Shelley. And look at Shelley with that sign of disrespect, not shaking the champion's hand.
Jimmy, how ironic is it that last week Alex Shelley who's a master of making sure the odds are in his favor, master of making sure that if it's 2-on-1, 3-on-1, it's in his favor, went into his match with Doug Williams at a disadvantage. Both Williams and Shelley got to the title match by having to win four-way matches. But in his four-way match, Shelley injured his arm, and that was a deciding factor why Williams got the title. But tonight, both men coming into the ring fresh, so there's not going to be any excuses for Alex Shelley.
Doug Williams attacked that arm last week like a shark smelling blood, and that eventually led to the demise of Alex Shelley. As right now, Doug Williams going to work on Shelley, as we have a feeling out process right there. And look at that, stomped right on the hands of Doug Williams. That's painful and insulting.
And probably more insulting than painful. Doug Williams not impressed, goes to the referee, wants to know if we're going to have a wrestling match.
Doug Williams, he wants to raise the prestige of that pure title. He wants to make it as prestigious as the ROH World title, and he is set for 2 title defenses on Death Before Dishonor weekend. If he manages to get by Alex Shelley tonight, he's going to be facing another member of Generation Next, Aries, tomorrow night in Chicago.
Well, that's a big if, Jimmy. I was going to point out that she called this Doug Williams' first title defense. This could be Doug Williams' only title defense. Let's get something straight about Alex Shelley. He's got a big mouth, and he can be a pain in the neck, but Alex Shelley is almost as good as he thinks he is. And that's pretty damn good.
He is definitely championship material, and he could definitely get the win tonight. I wouldn't even call it an upset if he were to defeat the champion tonight and win the title right here in Milwaukee.
No, you've got it. This match has got to be going in at even odds.
And something I find a little interesting too is normally Generation Next never travels alone. There's always 2 or 3 of them, or all of them, always around. And Alex Shelley is alone tonight. Nobody at ringside with him. The same way that he was alone last week when he went to the pure title. That's definitely something curious about Generation Next. I don't understand why nobody is out there with Alex Shelley right now. Perhaps they're preparing for their match later on this evening.
Well, I got a couple of theories. Number one, maybe it is because it's the pure wrestling title. Alex Shelley doesn't want to risk any outside interference, anything that might taint a victory.
I don't think Alex Shelley is really concerned about that. He's only concerned about getting to the top, and he'll do it by any means necessary.
And maybe the second theory is that Generation Next was a little bit embarrassed by being run out of the ring by the Second City Saints earlier tonight.
You might have a point there, Mark. It should be noted, too, that the Contenders Ring, the first Contenders Ring has been determined. Of course, that is the new system for ROH to determine challengers to the titles. No more ranking system. The Contenders Ring is voted on by the ROH staff. If you receive over 75% of the votes, named on 75% of the ballots, you're in the Contenders Ring, and the first Contenders Ring is made up of Alex Shelley, Aries, who could be getting a pure title shot tomorrow night, Colt Cabana, who could be getting a world title shot tomorrow night if Samoa Joe manages to get past tonight, Bryan Danielson, who is in New Japan this weekend, CM Punk, and Homicide, who is receiving a world title match tonight.
Well, you've got a lot of guys that can make a case that they are the number 1 contender. I know it's a contender's ring, and any of these men can get a title shot, but Colt Cabana is one of the few people to get a 1-2-3 on Samoa Joe, the champion. CM Punk had that great 60-minute time limit draw where he took Samoa Joe to the absolute limit. And has there been a more vicious feud in wrestling than Homicide and Samoa Joe? That may be Samoa Joe's most dangerous challenge.
Well, that's something we'll talk about later. As right now, Doug Williams trying to get to the head of Alex Shelley. Alex Shelley trying to ram his head into the canvas, but Doug Williams rolling through.
A little bit of a feeling out process by both men. Both men very well aware of how good the other one is. The thing about both these guys who are so dangerous is they can catch a cradle from any position in the ring and end the match. So this is a little bit of a feeling out period by both men. Both men wrestling a little bit cautiously, a little bit defensively, and smart to do so.
When you're dealing with these pure title rules, as there's actually Williams trying to ram Shelley's head. Shelley blocked it, but then tastes the canvas right there. Doug Williams one-ups him. Ref Todd Sinclair, good job officiating, making sure that Williams backs off while Shelley is in the corner.
Well, Williams is out here with a lot of confidence. Alex Shelley usually the master of the mind game, usually able to get inside his opponent's heads and intimidate him. Doug Williams not playing those games at all.
Well, it's a cliche, but I will say it. This is definitely like a chess game in there. Both men trying to plan ahead 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 moves in advance. And you have to when you're dealing with such submission and counter wrestling experts as Doug Williams and Alex Shelley. Both men know 1,000,001 holds, and there's no telling what they're going to pull out next or from what position they're going to be able to get a submission.
Both Doug Williams and Alex Shelley, masters of the game of human chess.
And now Shelley he's stuck there, he's trying to get out of the legs. That vice-like grip of Doug Williams.
Boy, Doug Williams is just built like a wrestler, isn't he? Has that low center of gravity, the thick legs and hips, the big barrel chest.
Doug Williams, he has been a standout in ROH since almost day one. He became a star in 2002 and one night at the Road to the Title show, walked in an unknown, walked out a main eventer, came close to titles before in ROH, and now he finally has that pure title around his waist, and he wants nothing more than to make that an important belt to raise it to the level of Samoa Joe's world title.
You know, Jimmy, that's one of the differences, one of the things that makes Ring of Honor special is probably more than any other promotion in the country. The fate is in the hand of the wrestlers. If a wrestler comes in and performs, whether he's unknown or whether he's a superstar, nobody's here gets the big dollar contract. Everybody has to perform every night in. And if you come, and nobody's protected, if you come in and beat somebody, you can make a name for yourself. You can be getting top matches of Ring of Honor quicker than you can any other promotion.
It's all about the wins and losses. As both men still trying to get something going, trying to get a series of moves, some offense going, and so far both men are frustrating each other. It seems like that Alex Shelley is a little more frustrated with Doug Williams, though.
Drop toehold by Williams. Jimmy, going back to something you said earlier where you pulled out the game of human chess cliche, one of the things that some people do, chess masters do, is they wait for their opponent to make a mistake. They play defensively, and I think that's what we're seeing here a little bit.
Oh, hold on. There's a rope break by Alex Shelley. Of course, you're only allowed 3 rope breaks. And what's Doug Williams doing to Shelley now? I think he's hog-tying him with his own feet and hands in the ropes.
Well, Doug Williams taking advantage of the count. Look at this. I've never seen this before.
He has hog-tied Alex Shelley with his own body onto the rope. I guess that'll teach Alex Shelley to use any rope breaks.
That's an expensive rope break. I've never seen that before. What a remarkable move by Doug Williams.
Doug Williams, he knows so many ways to tie up the human body, and he just proved it right there. And Alex Shelley is down 1 rope break. Of course, last week, Doug Williams didn't even use any rope breaks. Alex Shelley was forced to use all his rope breaks, and that led to Doug Williams getting the victory and becoming the new pure champion.
Now Alex Shelley, I think this is an adrenaline burst by Shelley after being embarrassed. I don't think he was hurt by being tied up in the ropes, but I definitely think he was embarrassed.
It's definitely fired up Alex Shelley, and now he's forcing Doug Williams to use a rope break. As he was trying to stretch the neck of Doug Williams, of course, Alex Shelley likes to set up for that Border City stretch, which stretches your neck. He's made a lot of guys tap out to that, and there's a neck breaker and a kick to the back.
Well, Alex Shelley got a wake-up call when he was tied up in the ropes, and Doug Williams may be rethinking that strategy. That may not have been the best move to try to show up Alex Shelley like that.
Oh, and that's just insulting by Alex Shelley, as he is just literally walking on Doug Williams.
I would not be this casual with Doug Williams, a wrestler this dangerous, especially. A big European forearm uppercut. Alex Shelley, pure wrestling match. Yeah, I hate to see it. It's a pure wrestling match. If you want to go to the garbage match, fine, go to the garbage match, but stay out of the eyes.
Pure wrestling, it's about competition at its purest. It's not about going to the eyes like that. And Alex Shelley is continuing the assault on the neck of Doug Williams. As there's that, he's bridging and stretching the neck at the same time. The bridge adding to the torque on the neck.
Cross arms with the reverse bridge by Shelley. And again, Shelley's going to center his attack on that neck, trying to set up that Border City stretch. I think I heard that just a few minutes ago, Jimmy.
Both men, they've both... Oh, hold on, there's another rope break. Doug Williams has used 2 of his rope breaks now.
Ever since Doug Williams embarrassed Alex Shelley by tying him up in the ropes, Alex Shelley has dominated the action.
Alex Shelley wants to bring the first title to the Generation Next stable. He wants to solidify a spot on the top of the card. And there's a nice stretch right there, Mark Nolte.
Interesting, almost a full Nelson with the legs. The only thing is, though, I don't like this move, and I'll tell you why. You're exposing your shoulders to the mat, and at the same time, you're tying up all 4 of your limbs to block 2 of his. I think it takes more energy out of you to apply the hold.
Very good point there. Right now, though, Doug Williams at the disadvantage. He is down rope breaks. He is hurting in the neck area. Alex Shelley's looking strong, continuing the assault. No, Williams with a back elbow.
Can't blind charge Doug Williams like that. He's just too savvy.
Doug Williams has very deceiving agility for a man of his size. Demonstrated by that leapfrog, and he's going to the leg right there. Comes up with the half crab.
Boy, rolls into the half crab. What a smooth move by Doug Williams. And there's the second rope break by Alex Shelley.
As Williams forcing Shelley to use that rope break. I think that was a strategy in grabbing the leg all along. And Shelley gets out of the hole with a big enziguri.
Now, both men have 2 rope breaks.
Of course, once you use up all 3 of your rope breaks, the ropes are in play. You can use the ropes for submissions. For instance, a tarantula-like submission is legal once someone uses all their rope breaks, as Alex Shelley now knee after knee after knee to the neck and back of the head of Doug Williams.
And more importantly, once you've used up your 3 rope breaks, if someone does get you in a submission-type maneuver, you have to break it yourself. You can't break it using the ropes.
And you also can't stop a pinfall using the ropes either. Dave Prazak, our ring announcer, explaining the rules of this pure title match before the bout. Of course, there's also a 20 count on the floor. Normally there's no count in ROH on the floor. And, of course, no closed fist to the face. Small package by Williams. Oh, and it can end that quickly. Todd Sinclair with a 2 count.
Now, Alex Shelley's got to figure out a way to finish off Doug Williams. Look how long he's had Williams in trouble, but hasn't been able to come up with any type of a combination.
If I'm Alex Shelley right now, I would probably try to think of a way to get Doug Williams to use that 3rd rope break. That'll put Shelley at a huge advantage, very similar to the advantage Doug Williams had last week in New Jersey, which brought Doug Williams the pure title.
If you don't think wrestling is exhausting as brawling, look at the way these 2 guys are moving. Look at it, and look at Doug Williams, Greco-Roman knuckle lock, floats up into the hammerlock, up and over. Alex Shelley doesn't know where he is, and this time it's Williams and Shelley chain wrestling, countering. Williams has Shelley up.
Oh!
Doug Williams found the chain wrestling sequence until he just plants him in the corner. Now comes up, looks like he's got a double arm suplex off the 2nd rope.
And notice though, Williams came up clutching that neck. 2 count.
For theory's sake, let's say Doug Williams gets past this match. Tomorrow night, he's going to take that worked over neck in against Austin Aries.
Oh, the Generation Next could definitely have the pure title after this weekend. In fact, after tonight, the way things are going. Fisherman's neck breaker right there by Alex Shelley. I haven't seen that since Donovan Morgan's been in ROH. And there's a 2 count by Shelley.
Hook the near leg. But Alex Shelley, both men, you can really tell the toll of this match has been taking, as both men moving just a little bit slower now.
A super kick. Shell shock by Shelley. He's pinned many men with that cover.
And that's the 3rd rope break by Doug Williams. Otherwise, it was over.
Doug Williams wisely using that 3rd rope break to save the title, but he is out of rope breaks. Alex Shelley can now use those ropes for submissions, and Doug Williams can no longer use those ropes to break up a pinfall or a submission.
Now Shelley doesn't have to be nearly as concerned with ring position. He doesn't have to worry if he gets a submission hold or a pinfall attempt in the center of the ring.
The challenger definitely has an advantage. Williams soars with that high knee. We've seen him use it so many times. I think he landed right in the shoulder. Oh, he gets a 2 count.
Bombs away by Doug Williams. And now it's Williams has taken, just like that, Doug Williams such a great counter wrestler.
Hold on, Chaos Theory maybe. Yes, he's going for the Chaos Theory. He rolls him over. No, Shelley blocks it. Beautifully done. This could be it. Just a 2 count by Sinclair. Shelley's so close to being the new pure champion. A sliced bread number 2 with no boost from anything.
Alex Shelley still so worn out. He's got to get over for the cover. I'm not sure Alex Shelley knows where he is at this moment.
Both men feeling the wear and tear of this pure title match. Can Doug Williams escape with the title? Can he build the prestige of that pure title?
This now has become a match of attrition.
The fans in Milwaukee showing their appreciation for this action. And that works on the neck, and Williams scored in the ropes, but it doesn't mean anything. Todd Sinclair telling Williams, I can't break the hold. Williams has to find another way to break the hold, and he does.
Yeah, I don't know if that submission was really going to be that effective anyway, since Alex Shelley never had a base.
Alex Shelley. Oh, right down on the neck and back of the head of Doug Williams.
You got to go for the cover here, and if you don't get the 3 count, go for the Border City stretch.
Oh, just a 2 count.
You need to float right into the Border City stretch.
Alex Shelley taking too much time. You're right about that, Mark. And he's letting Williams to his feet. A surprising move right there. And he's going for the shell shock again. No, Williams blocks it. Williams going for the Chaos Theory. Shelley trying to hold on.
Shelley has Williams very well scouted.
Todd Sinclair called that a rope break.
No!
And there's another Chaos Theory attempt. A full Nelson. Shelley gets out of it. Goes behind. And there we have it. Hold on, rolls him over. Chaos Theory. And that's it. Doug Williams retains the title. What a classic. Can he get past Austin Aries tomorrow night?
Introducing first the challenger in the corner to my left, hailing from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, at a weight of 202 pounds. This is Austin Aries. And his opponent, he is the Ring of Honor Pure Champion, hailing from Maidstone, England, at a weight of 235 pounds. This is the torture device, Doug Williams.
It is now time for our pure title match. Can Doug Williams, the champion, make it 2 nights in a row? He is offering the hand to Austin Aries, and Aries hits Williams with a closed fist. The ref didn't see it. He was putting the belt down, and Williams returned the favor, and Todd Sinclair saw that one.
Oh, that's cheap. That's cheap and that's disappointing.
Of course, one of the rules in these pure title matches, no close fist to the face. And Doug Williams just got a warning. If he hits Austin Aries with another closed fist to the face, that will be a rope break penalty. And if he does it and he's all out of rope breaks, then he is disqualified, and the pure title can change hands on countouts or disqualifications. So, mind games by Austin Aries, and it worked as he baited Doug Williams into using that closed fist right in front of the ref.
I'll tell you what I hate about that, even more than the fact that it was cheap, is Austin Aries. I know we've got the Colt Cabana Samoa Joe match coming up. I know we've got that street fight coming up. But in my mind, this is the match I've been most looking forward to. Austin Aries was already well respected in ROH circles and wrestling circles, but I think he became a superstar with that match that he had survival of the fittest against Bryan Danielson. And I'm so looking forward to this match here. I want to see it be a great technical wrestling match and not a mind game or a cheap shot fest.
You saw Austin Aries, he was thinking about reaching for the ropes there, then decided better about it, because of course you only have 3 rope breaks in this match. And you mentioned that survival of the fittest match. Real quick, I want to note that the rematch has been signed to that. Bryan Danielson versus Austin Aries, August 7th in Philadelphia, and it's going to be 2 out of 3 falls.
If I wasn't broadcasting that match, I would buy a ticket.
And if Austin Aries wins the pure title here, it'll be interesting to see what kind of factor that plays into that match.
Well, will he put the belt up, or will he just give a rematch the same?
What do you say?
Well, not in the same circumstances, just a regular singles match.
We'll have to wait and see, but right now it has been signed. Bryan Danielson versus Austin Aries, 2 out of 3 falls, and there's Aries going to the ropes.
To break a hammerlock?
I think he was a little frustrated trying to reverse it. Maybe he did it out of habit without thinking.
Boy, that didn't look like that hammerlock was that punishing to use up a rope break that way. Look at the smile on Doug Williams' face. Because I think Austin Aries just now figured out what he did.
And one of these things about these matches is that you do have to completely change your strategy. The pure title rules involve a whole different set of strategy that you have to have going into the match.
Because, Jimmy, you're absolutely right, because sometimes you'll take the rope break, not because you can't break the hold, but it's just easier to take the rope break than to expend the energy to break a hold by yourself. But here, you can't do that. Or if you do it 3 times, then you've given your opponent a huge advantage in the match.
You see what Austin Aries just did? That's his second closed fist to the face to the chin of Doug Williams, all behind the ref's back. He says Doug Williams is pulling his hair. When the ref gets behind his back, he's some cheap shot Doug Williams, and Williams just lost his cool. He just hit Austin Aries with a closed fist to the face, and that's a rope break penalty right there.
Doug Williams.
Austin Aries has totally gotten into the mind of Doug Williams, and he made Doug Williams waste a rope break with those closed fists.
I hate to ride the referee, but I question that. If you're going to call, I think if the referee was in a better position, he could have seen what Austin Aries was doing.
Well, Austin Aries was fooling the referee. He was saying Doug Williams was pulling his hair. The ref would go look, and then he cheap shot him. Boy, Generation Next, they're really pulling some plans and tactics tonight. We saw that earlier with Ricky Steamboat, and now this.
Austin Aries doesn't need to do any of this job. It's garbage wrestling.
Hey, you know what I just noticed?
It's conspicuous by their absence.
Yeah, where's the rest? Where's Rod Armstrong? Where's Jack Evans? Where's Alex Shelley?
Yesterday when this happened, I kind of figured maybe they were embarrassed because the Second City Steaks ran them from the ring. But now they're coming off a victory. If anything, you think they'd want to be out here to help gloat.
I don't understand it. Austin Aries is trying to get out of this hold without using a rope break. But yeah, you notice they weren't at ringside. Yeah, they weren't at ringside last night when Shelley went for the pure title, and they're not at ringside tonight when Austin Aries is going for the pure title. And they weren't at ringside when Shelley went for the pure title against Doug Williams at Reborn Completion last week.
Well, let me give you one contrarian opinion. Just choking on the
this is totally uncalled for in this kind of match. And you know what else? They weren't at ringside when Austin Aries was in Survival of the Fittest either.
No, they weren't.
Very interesting. I don't know what that's all about.
I have a question about these rules. Why is it that it's a rope break penalty to hit somebody in the face twice, but it's not a penalty to hit somebody, choke somebody with the ropes?
Maybe that's something we have to look into. Good point there.
Boy, Austin Aries is...
He's almost taunting Doug Williams to use a rope break right here by putting his hold on so close to the ropes.
And that would be Austin. That would be the second rope break for Williams.
You want your opponents to use all their rope breaks in these kind of matches. So you do see guys putting guys in holds in position to reach the ropes because they want them to use that rope break. Because once you use all your rope breaks, the ropes can't save you from a submission and a pinfall. And not only that, the ropes can be used against you in submissions. A tarantula-like move becomes legal at that point.
You know what? I thought Alex Shelley got distracted by that yesterday. I thought he was so concerned about getting Doug Williams to use the rope breaks that he didn't take advantage of some pinfall opportunities. Just a thought.
Perhaps.
So I think this could almost work against you if you're so worried about rope breaks and not worried enough about just scoring the victory.
Austin Aries now has another hold on Doug Williams. He's working a slower pace than he normally does in this pure title match. Of course, you want to wear down your opponent to where you might be able to get a submission on a certain body part. As Austin Aries, another backbreaker, holding it there, trying to twist the back of Doug Williams across the knee.
What a knee drop by Austin Aries. And this is the Austin Aries that we saw at Survival of the Fittest against. In my opinion, that was your match of the year so far.
Very well could be. Absolutely awesome. As there you see a simple chin lock. Austin Aries trying to drive that knee and leg into the spine of Doug Williams. Trying to cut off oxygen to Doug Williams. Williams now making his way to his feet. He's not going to have to use a rope break to get out of it. At least it looks that way. Nicely done.
But you can tell Doug Williams in trouble here. Austin Aries so quick to follow up on his advantage. Now he's just going to pummel him in the corner. And again, same thing. If you want to make this pure wrestling, then let's enforce all the rules, not just the close fist rule.
Doug Williams, he is looking to raise the prestige of that pure title. That's why he wanted to defend it on consecutive nights.
Well, and of course, the pure wrestling title means so much. Look at, here it is. Look at this bridge.
Beautiful Muda lock. And Doug Williams, he's inching towards the ropes. He's thinking about it. Did he see almost reach for the ropes and he thought better of it?
This would be a second rope break if he has to take it. He may not have a choice.
And
now he's reaching for the break.
There it is. 1, 2, 3. Todd Sinclair calling for the break, and Doug Williams has used his second rope break.
Down to that last rope break, Austin Aries, I think he thought he had the match won there. I think he's a little frustrated. Baseball slide sends Williams to the floor.
Austin Aries, he is in the contenders ring now, but he needs to win this match to be a champion, and he might even end up falling out of the contenders ring if he loses. Wow!
Corkscrew plancha over the top rope.
Stop doing that.
Both men hurt. That's one of the things that makes Austin Aries so dangerous. He is willing to sacrifice his own body to mete out punishment.
And there you see the ref administering the count. There's no count out in many ROH matches. You can be DQ'd if you're out there for too long. However, in pure title matches, there's a strict 20 count on the floor. We want to keep the action in the ring in pure title matches. And you think these guys are aware of the count? You could be forgetful that there's a count in this match.
Well, it's hard to hear the referee over the din of the crowd, and especially when you're trading shots outside.
Williams,
that's 17.
Oh, they just barely get in.
Boy, Doug Williams now taking advantage of his size and his power as he just decks him with that forearm.
And Doug Williams got a good shot in on the shoulder and arm of Austin Aries on the ring post out there too.
Make no mistake, a forearm can be just as devastating as a fist. Look how quick Austin Aries is.
And he gets taken over into the corner.
Doug Williams, how big would this be on his resume? Back-to-back title defenses against Alex Shelley and Austin Aries if he figures out a way to win this.
That's what Doug Williams set out to do. He wants to make the pure title an important belt. He wants to bring it up to the level of the world title, so he insisted to take on the best. And he wanted to do it on consecutive nights on Death Before Dishonor weekend.
Well, and you heard Samoa Joe talk a couple of weeks ago. It was almost disdainful of the pure wrestling title. So that would be an interesting confrontation. Should Williams continue to defend and get a shot? What a knee lift! Williams looks at the far leg.
So only a 2 count. Samoa Joe definitely has an issue with the existence of the pure title. He has since the title's inception, but it seems lately Joe's been too distracted with the Rottweilers to really put the time and effort that he did in the past into the pure title. As there you see Williams a high knee to the arm and shoulder of Austin Aries.
Crotch hold lift, body slam by Williams. Now Williams looking to finish Aries off, mounts the top rope. Flying bombs away.
Once again on that same location on the arm and shoulder.
Now bridges into the hammerlock.
And that bridge just increases the pressure and the torque.
The only thing is Williams needs to be mindful of his own shoulders. Now he's just going to come back up. You know, one of the differences, Jimmy, in college wrestling, amateur wrestling, and professional wrestling, in amateur wrestling, you can't get the hammerlock above a 90-degree angle. In professional wrestling, you can jam it into somebody's left ear if you can get it up that high.
And Austin Aries, as a result, was forced to use his second rope break. We're even at 2 rope breaks apiece. Each man only has 1 rope break left. And as you saw last night, Doug Williams needed that final rope break to save himself from getting pinned.
And when he won the title from Alex Shelley, the fact that Shelley was without rope breaks did play a factor.
That's right. And there's a nice move by Austin. Good for a 2 count. And Austin Aries definitely favoring that arm at this point.
Doug Williams is just vicious with those forearms. Alex Shelley catches him.
That's why it's called the torture device. And he misses that spinning power elbow. And Doug Williams is getting fired up.
More forearms by Williams.
Hey, watch your getting on. Come on.
Oh, roaring elbow, but he used that arm and he's feeling the pain as a result, but he's got to cover.
I don't think he could hook that leg nearly as well as he wanted to, favoring that arm.
No, that arm is definitely has a wounded limb there.
But we saw Austin Aries in the match with Danielson survive an incredible amount of punishment and come so close to beating Danielson. And again, I think the match of the year.
And Austin, though, he might tap out to this. He might need to use his last rope break to get out of this hold. Williams just stretching him. He's got that arm. He's got his legs wrapped against him. But look, he doesn't have the legs totally wrapped around Aries as he's given the opportunity to, yes, use that final rope break.
So Aries has used all his rope breaks. Williams has used 2.
Williams a definite advantage now. Look at Aries just clutching that rope. He realizes that he has an injured limb right now, and he has no more rope breaks to help save himself. And Williams goes right on the attack. Todd Sinclair trying to back off Williams to give Aries a chance to get off the ropes, and I don't think Aries wants to let go.
Well, this is where Williams should back off and let the referee force the count and get Aries back in the ring. Hooks him, puts him back up on that top turnbuckle. European forearm uppercut by Williams. See, I don't agree with Williams' strategy here. When you've got that left arm as injured as it is, why would you go up to the top rope? Why not continue to work on the arm on the mat?
Maybe he's going for high impact, or maybe he's going for that as he just drapes the arm down.
I think Doug Williams just answered my question.
Aries having to go to the floor for a breather. He is in a world of pain. The agony is racing up and down his arm. The limb is tender. The joints are susceptible.
And again, we've seen Aries before. We've seen Aries in trouble before.
And Aries signaling for that 450. He puts them all down with that. No. Williams stops him. And Williams climbing up, and this is similar to how he beat Alex Shelley for the title originally. And yes, he's got Aries trapped. No rope breaks. Aries has nowhere to go, and he taps.
What an impressive victory for Doug Williams.
Doug Williams successful in his quest to raise the prestige of the Pure title. We have a Pure champion we can be proud of in the torture device, Doug Williams.
here denies that you're a great wrestler. Nobody here denies that you're fitting to be a pure wrestling champion. But let's get one thing straight. Just because you defend your championship on 2 nights, just because you defend your championship in England, you still need to remember one thing. Your pure wrestling title means absolutely nothing next to the world title. So Doug, good luck tonight. And John Walters, Jesus Christ, in front of your hometown crowd, try not to choke here like you do everywhere else.
Wow, strong words from the world champion Samoa Joe, telling John Walters not to choke, and degrading Doug Williams and the Pure title, saying the Pure title will never be anything next to his world title. But I'll tell you what, Doug Williams has done a heck of a job of raising the prestige of that new belt. He won it July 17th at Reborn Completion. He then defended it on consecutive nights against Alex Shelley and Austin Aries on Death Before Dishonor weekend, and that's taking on the top competition right there. And then he went over to the United Kingdom and defended the belt over there, making it an international title, just like Samoa Joe did with the ROH title when Samoa Joe made it into the ROH world title. Doug Williams, a great job making the Pure title a prestigious belt. The newest belt, in fact, in the wrestling industry right now.
If I were you, Jimmy, I wouldn't say to Samoa Joe's face that he made it just like Samoa Joe did, made it a world title just like Samoa Joe did. I wouldn't say that to him.
I'll be missing a few teeth if I do.
Boy, Samoa Joe, strong words not only about the Pure title, which, to give Samoa Joe a little bit of credit here, at least he's consistent. He's been saying that for months he doesn't agree with the whole concept of the Pure title. Samoa Joe, one of the things that makes him such a great champion is he faces every card like he's the challenger. He is so intent on proving that he is the dominant and the supreme wrestler in ROH.
And he's done a heck of a job of that. And right now, Doug Williams and John Walters, the pressure is on John Walters. This is an athlete. We've been waiting for him to break through the next level. He's come close. Everyone remembers his final battle 2003 match against Xavier, but he's been frustrated in breaking through to that upper echelon. In fact, he himself has become so frustrated that he has promised, and that's a big word when you promise something, but he has promised to walk out of his hometown of Boston tonight as the Pure champion.
Well, on one hand, you would think that John Walters is going to have an advantage here because this is basically his home ring and his home crowd.
Whoa!
But Doug Williams needs to be conscious of his own shoulders and just, you know, a double-arm surfboard, if you will, a cross-arm surfboard, if you will, by Doug Williams. And now, the reversal by John Walters. John Walters going for his own double-arm surfboard, cross-arm surfboard.
He reversed the necktie, went to the back of the knee to bring Doug Williams down, and now he's got it. But once again, you got to watch the shoulders. John Walters, he has his parents here tonight, his family, his friends, his hometown fans, all in attendance, and he wants to win the belt for them.
Now, Jimmy, you know, at first glance you would think that's a huge advantage, but that also puts an extra amount of pressure on you as well. Doug Williams isn't worried about disappointing his home fans. He's not worried about his mother's watching him lose. And those are the things that can weigh on you sometimes.
John Walters has definitely put the pressure on himself. Maybe that's what he needed to break through to the next level, though. I guess we'll find out. But if he loses in front of his family, his friends, after promising a title win right here in his hometown, I mean, you might not ever see him again in ROH. How could you come back and show your face again?
Well, Samoa Joe certainly didn't help by dropping that "don't choke" line on him.
Well, we know the history of Boston sports teams, especially the Red Sox. I guess that doesn't apply to the Patriots anymore.
Well, really, or the Celtics. I mean, but
But when you think Boston sports, you think Red Sox and you think choke, and that pains me to say it because I was a huge Red Sox fan growing up. And right now, though, we have a beautiful Muda lock. Well, both men trying for submissions early, and that's one of the tactics in these pure title matches because, of course, you only get 3 rope breaks.
And Doug Williams won the title with the rope break rule. Oh, look at that. Goes into the nose. Hooks the nose.
And a back elbow. Williams gets out of it. That is right. It was reborn completion. It came down to Doug Williams against Alex Shelley in that mini tournament. Alex Shelley used up all his rope breaks, and Doug Williams used the ropes to apply an arm submission, a very unique move that you wouldn't see in a normal match. Alex Shelley had nowhere to go and had to tap. So one of the strategies you need to employ in a pure title match is to get your opponent to use his rope breaks, because if your opponent has used up all his rope breaks, he can no longer use the ropes to break up a pin or submission. And not only that,
Doug Williams can use the ropes as a weapon.
Yup, you can use those ropes as a weapon. So right now, you want to get your opponent to use up those rope breaks. At the same time, if you are in a submission hold, the recipient of a submission hold, you might want to try to think of another way to get out of the hold. The easy way out is usually getting to the ropes, but a lot of times you might not want to take the easy way out because you might have to save those rope breaks till later.
Well, the 3 rope break rule really forces you to wrestle a more offensive match. You can't use the ropes as a defensive tactic.
And so far, both men are exchanging submission holds on each other, but no one using any rope breaks.
And one common opponent that both these men have had over the last few months is Generation Next. Of course, Doug Williams, winning the match with the title open, wins the match in finals against Alex Shelley, then has a great defense against Austin Aries.
And there's that rematch against Alex Shelley, too. That was an excellent match. John Walters has been at odds with Generation Next. In fact, they bloodied John Walters at the Survival of the Fittest show, and John Walters has been looking for revenge since then. As a matter of fact, the night that Generation Next made their debut, it was Alex Shelley making Walters tap in that landmark 8-man tag at the Generation Next show.
So somehow Walters manages to win the title here. He can really force the issue with Generation Next, because now he'd be in the driver's seat in determining what the match is, and kind of has a situation where he can kind of keep Generation Next from turning this into a 2-on-1, 3-on-1, 4-on-1.
Generation Next, they tried to take John Walters' spot and make their name at his expense, and they have not been successful yet. Although they do have gotten a lot of good hits, they have put John Walters down time and time again.
Both Walters and Williams so far earlier in this match, it looks like their number one priority is not to make a mistake. I think both men have a lot of respect for each other. Both men understand how dangerous the other one is as far as being able to come up. Big European forearm uppercut by Williams. Both men very dangerous in the fact that they can apply submission hold from anywhere in the ring, both from an up position or a down position. Drop kick and a beauty by John Walters.
That was perfectly executed. Oh, and Walters now the stunner on the leg of Doug Williams. And look at the pain on the face of Doug Williams. The torture device. He has brought prestige to the title. But right now, John Walters is singling his leg and going right for it.
Reverse step over toe hold into the high bridge.
And that's a lot of pressure on the knee.
Williams has got to watch his shoulders here as well as figure out a way to break up that hold. All the pressure on the ankle.
Plus the tendons and ligaments in the knee are being stretched right now. That is working over the whole leg of Doug Williams.
And the higher that bridge gets, the more pressure that's putting on the ankle.
And there you see Doug Williams though going for a cravat almost. No. And he turned it over. That allowed him to turn the hold over on Walters.
What a great counter by Doug Williams. That's why he's your pure wrestling champion. I don't disagree with Samoa Joe in public often for obvious reasons. I think the pure wrestling title is a great belt. And I enjoy the competition.
And there you see John Walters, instead of taking the easy way out and going to the ropes, he opted to go for those back elbows instead and save the rope break. There's that big European uppercut. Of course, no close fists in these pure title matches.
A forearm arm can actually be more devastating than a closed fist if you know how to throw them.
Well, I should note it's no closed fist to the head or the face.
Double leg pickup, looks like he wants to go. Well, now he's going to try to turn that over into a sharpshooter.
Once again, more pressure on the legs of Doug Williams. And now Williams inching towards the rope. Will he use a rope break here? Trying to push his way out of it. And he had to go to the ropes.
Interesting, you look at that giant barrel that Doug Williams calls an upper body. John Walter trying to take the legs out from under it.
And Doug Williams was forced to use his first rope break.
Crotch hold and a lift by Walters. Now wants to position him.
And this is a submission on the leg.
He's got that leg blocked and twisting the ankle.
Very unique submission there by John Walters.
And it's also forcing all the blood to go to Williams' head as well.
That is a tough hold to keep on, as that's a lot of weight John Walters had to get up there, but he managed to do his damage with that hold. And now he's going right back to the legs in an Indian deathlock.
Doug Williams is already down one rope break.
And look, he's swinging those fists, and he can't do that. Todd Sinclair warning Doug Williams, if you do punch your opponent in the face, you will get a warning, and the second time you will lose a rope break, and if you're out of rope breaks, you'll be disqualified, and the Pure title can change hands on a DQ or a countout. And there you see Walters turning it over, and Doug Williams having to use another rope break. What an advantage John Walters has right now. He is up 2 rope breaks to none.
Now John Walters can really open up the offense.
Come on.
Walters right back on that leg.
Come on, Doug. What do you say? Come on, Doug.
Doug Williams, the flat of the foot.
And look at that. Williams into the ropes again.
That's 3 rope breaks. Doug Williams going to try to go to the floor to regroup. Doug Williams obviously frustrated. John Walters, we talked earlier about the pressure of wrestling in front of your home crowd. It has obviously sharpened John Walters.
John Walters with a 3-0 lead on the rope breaks, and the ropes are in play for John Walters right now. Not only can Doug Williams not save himself from a pin or submission with the ropes, but John Walters can use the ropes to apply any kind of submission he wants.
And he's going to go right for it. Looks like he wants to drape that foot over the bottom rope. Going to drive his knee into the back of Doug Williams' knee. I thought he might almost try to grapevine the knee across the ropes right there. And there it comes.
John Walters did make Chad Collier submit at the last stand in a preview of the Pure Wrestling title when it was a 3 rope break rule match. Collier used up all his rope breaks, and John Walters got a Boston Crab in the ropes, made Collier tap. And Walters there, he just had a unique submission on Doug Williams using the ropes, and Williams fought out.
Doug Williams is probably the better striker of these 2 men. Heavier.
Desperation pin, not enough.
Well, and you still can't throw caution to the wind here, because Doug Williams is so technically proficient, he can catch a cradle out of nowhere, and he's going to catch Walters in midair. No, Walters reverses it. Reverse DDT into the back of the knee.
And that did damage to Williams as well as Walters. A desperation move by Doug Williams. The Pure Champion is in trouble.
John Walters trying to press the advantage. Look at the quickness of the big man, Doug Williams.
Doug Williams, he's going back, wrenching the neck of John Walters. He used cravats earlier in the opening minutes of the match. So Doug Williams has been working on the neck of Walters. Nice Northern Lights, cover! No. But Doug Williams, he will soften up that neck to set up the Chaos Theory. Nobody kicks out of the Chaos Theory. That devastating roll through into a German suplex.
Now puts him onto the apron.
And that's a rope break for Walters. And a blockbuster by Williams into the ring. A cover.
A mistake there by John Walters. I don't think John Walters quite knew where he was.
And John Walters has used his first rope break, though.
Well, he's still up 3-1 on rope breaks.
Yeah, that is a huge advantage, Mark Nolte.
And Doug Williams having a hard time maintaining any type of a vertical base.
And now he's going for that cravat again and adding a bunch of knee strikes. And there's an ace crusher, a variation of it. And he's going right to the neck with that crossface. And look at that. He brought Walters close to the ropes. He knows the ropes are right there. He is tempting Walters to use the ropes, and Walters does. And all of a sudden, it's 3 rope breaks to 2.
Doug Williams, so polished as a wrestler, refuses to panic. Even though he was down 3-0 in rope breaks, just kept wrestling his match. Notice once he got the opportunity, he focused his attack on the upper body of Walters, where his superior size and power would come into play.
And you know what? I'm getting a vibe in this crowd right now. These people have seen it before with the Red Sox. You don't think we're going to see Boston choke again, do you?
Well, Grady Little's not in John Walters' corner, so that's going to help a little bit.
I still remember 1986 like it was yesterday, sitting in my parents' living room outside of Boston. Now it's heartbreaking. And there's John Walters using rope break number 3. Neither man has any rope breaks left.
And this is gonna be it right here. Doug Williams.
As there you see the ropes are in play. This submission is perfectly legal. Oh, and a big forearm to the back of the neck, insult to injury. John Walters flailing with those strikes, trying to connect, trying to save himself, and he does.
And give Doug Williams credit. Doug Williams never panicked once he was down 3-0 on the rope breaks.
When he used that third rope break, he went to the floor, get some composure, and now he went right after Walters' neck, and he caused Walters to use all his rope breaks, and the momentum is definitely back in Doug Williams' favor.
You've got a battle for the tempo here. Walters wants to wrestle this match on the ground and where he can go after Doug Williams' legs. Williams, the stronger man, the better striker, wants to stand up and use Oklahoma side roll. Walters kicks out at 2.
Boy, this crowd is just almost deflated. It's almost like they know what's going to happen.
Reverse waist lock by Williams. Now runs into the boot of Walters. Walters comes up.
Oh, a dragon!
Suplex, he's got him! Walters manages to roll the shoulder.
You notice, though, Doug Williams was not able to plant both feet because that one leg is bothering him too much.
The crowd trying to rally Walters. Williams almost taunting the crowd here a little bit.
Let's see if Doug Williams can follow up. That neck has to be screaming in pain on John Walters. And there's that high knee. I don't know if that's what Doug Williams wants to go for. Scores of that suplex.
He's trying to get some blood circulating into the leg. Now Doug Williams, this is not his forte coming up to the top rope. John Walters catches him with a drop kick all the way to up on the top rope.
Maybe Boston won't be heartbroken again. Hurricanrana, no, Williams holds on. No, a roll through by John Walters. Small package by Williams. I thought that might have been it, and now this crowd, they're sensing John Walters could pull this off. Lug blower to the face. To the back.
Hooks the foreleg.
Oh, and this crowd thought that was it. Can John Walters bring the championship home? He's got Williams down. 2 count only.
Now it's John Walters showing his composure. After the big rally by Doug Williams, Walters had a chance to fold but did not do so.
Oh, Walters sent into the corner though. Here it is. Chaos Theory. Once again, Doug Williams unable to plant both legs. The leg bothering him too much, and that allowed John Walters to kick out of the Chaos Theory. John Walters just did the impossible.
Doug Williams, did you see the look on his face?
And look at Walters going right to the knee. The knee obviously bothering Doug Williams.
Double leg pickup. Catapults him over the top rope. Williams trying to skin the cat. Walters there waiting for him. Walters is going to hook the leg.
This is legal. All the rope breaks are used. He's got the leg submission on.
We have a new champion.
John Walters did it! What a match! What a victory for John Walters! I can't believe it! We have a new pure champion! John Walters might be busted open in the nose! His neck might be screaming in pain! But you know he's never felt better in his life!